Hi, this is Amir again, and this is my number 4 video in the series of Microsoft Word. And I had a question regarding one of the last videos that I did on headers and footers and table of contents. And in that, there was a question about how do you work with an existing document where you're trying to write a book or something to that effect, and you've got a lot of chapters, and within that chapters you want to have each chapter to have its own header, and also even page should have one header and the odd page should have another header, and the page 1 should not have a header at all. So I thought I'll just do a video instead of emailing the person back, and I think this will be a good, as I've had a lot of questions asked by some of the people in my class as I teach this sometimes. So in this video I'll be going over the headers and footers, and I'm also again will be doing the table of contents, and I'm also going to try and squeeze in the citation part where you can put your references listed in it and how it creates a whole reference list at the end with your bibliography. So with that said, let's get going. What I did, I just copied some news item from the web and I pasted it multiple times, and what I've done is I've kind of created 3 to 4 chapters. So if you start looking here, see I've got a chapter 1. So whatever the title of the chapter 1 is will go there. And within that there is a section title, and I called it 1.1. And if I scroll down, I've got another section here, section title 1.2. And in this chapter 1 only I've got 4 pages. So there is section title 1.3. And then up here I've got section title 1.4, and after that it comes to chapter 2. So right here to start with chapter 2 title, section title 2.1, and I've got 2 sections in this, and then I start with chapter 3, and then I need to make this 3.2, section title 3.2. Make sure I've got section title. I think that might be wrong here. Just need to fix this for a second. Okay, so this is chapter 2 that I have here. It's the same material. I haven't changed the material. It doesn't matter. What's important is the exercise and understanding how do you go about working with this document when you already have things. So this is chapter 3, section title 3.2, and I've got chapter 4, 4.1. Now usually what you should do is, if you are doing something like this where you're writing a big research paper where you're going to have different sections and chapters, or a book, every time you try to create a new chapter, what you should do is, say this is the end of chapter 4, right at the end I would insert a break, or better off go to page layout in the tab called page layout. This is Office 2010, and it's pretty much similar to 2007. And in the breaks I choose next break, because if you read the description there, it says insert a section break and start the new section on the next page. So what it does is, if I enter a break here, so I'll just do that right now, a section break. Now this appear when I type, if I type here chapter 5 and I start typing whatever I want to type here for chapter 5, if I go back up here and I start writing something, as I hit enter and I start continue typing, you see the chapter 5 is no longer on this page because I've created a break. The chapter 5 goes to the next page because this is a separate section. So whatever I type continuing from chapter 4, it will automatically push the chapter 5 on the completely new page, because that is what we want, that our chapters should automatically start on a brand new page. So by inserting a page break from the page layout, breaks next page, I am separating chapter 4 and 5 completely, so that if I come up here and add more information in chapter 4 and it extends its page, it will automatically push the chapter 5 on the next page and start from the top line, rather than chapter 4 ending half at the half page and then chapter 5 starting from half of the page, which is not what we want. So this is what you should do if you are working from scratch. Now in this case, I already have started typing this, so I need to work with the headers and footers and things like that, and I want to have different headers on different chapters. And if that is the case, what I have to do first is insert the breaks between the chapters. So what I'll do is I'm going to come to the end of chapter 1. So this is chapter 2 here. So I'm just going to click here or here, doesn't matter, and I'm going to insert a break. Okay. Now sometimes you might find that the chapters gets pushed down because of stuff coming from the top, so you might have to just make some adjustment there, because I just copied and pasted it here, so it might have some extra spaces somewhere. Now I'm going to go to the end of chapter 2. Okay, and if I want, I can just move this up here, and I'm just going to insert a break at the end of page 2. Okay, just going to move this chapter 3 back to the top, and I'm going to go to the end of chapter 3. So this is, I've got 2 pages in most chapters except for chapter 1 where I have 4 pages, and I can click here, page break, next. Okay, just bring the chapter 4 back up. And my chapter 5, which I don't have anything, but I've already created a break there, which when I inserted, I already inserted. Now you'll say that I don't see the break. To see the break, you have to go to the Home tab, and then in the Home tab, you have to click on the Show and Hide button, which is this button right here. When I click it, Show and Hide only shows me. You see, whenever you see that symbol there, it means that I hit enter. Wherever you see a dot, it means you hit a space. And then if you hit tab, you should start seeing these symbols. So it's just a visual representation. But Show and Hide is very useful when you are working with page breaks, because page breaks are not visible without Show and Hide. And right here, you see up here it says section break next page. So it means that this is a complete separate section starting on the next page. If you wanted to remove it, you just click in front of that line up here and then just hit delete on the keyboard, and that will delete the section. So say you change your mind and you realize that that next chapter is not chapter 2, it's part of the chapter 1, then you can remove the section break, make the chapter 2 part of the chapter 1, and then start the chapter 2 wherever you need to by putting the header and the section break. So that's the first step if you already have this document. I'm just going to turn off the Show and Hide. Now we need to work with headers and footers, and the first thing, there are a couple of things we need to do, so I'll just start it. The easiest way to start headers and footers is you just double click on the margins, that is the top part of the page where the white space is. You just double click on it. Now remember, you will only see your margins when you are in the normal mode. If you look on the bottom there is a section there which is the normal mode, is the print layout mode. I can also show you from the View tab. There is the print layout view. There is also a draft view. Now you see in the draft view, I don't see my headers. So even if you have the headers, you will not see it. It will still be printed, but in the draft mode, you just don't see it. So you can always come to the print layout view So now you see your margins, your left margins, your top margins, and your right margins. Now I can either double click on the top, or I can go to Insert Headers. It's up to you. I'm just going to double click here, and it comes up, and I've got that special tab here called Headers and Footers, where I can start making all the changes I want to make in the headers and footers, and this is only available when you are in headers and footer. And you see up here it says headers section 1. And now what I want to do right away is I say different first page. So what that does is I can either leave the first page blank, or I can type whatever I want in there. And the second thing I want to do as part of my exercise is different odd and even pages. What that means is page 2 will have a different header, page 3 will have a different header, page 4 will have the same header as page 2, because that's odd and even pages. So all the even pages will have the same header, and all the odd pages will have the same header. And the first page, you can have a different, completely separate header. In this case, I'm just going to leave it blank because I already have my title there. So I'm just going to go to the second page, and I'm going to click here, and you see up here it says even page header. So I can just say chapter 1 even page header, and then I can type whatever I want. I can hit tab, and then I can put author, and then at the end, if I want, I can put the page number by going up here on the left hand corner, page number, current position, and then I can choose whatever style of page number I want to put. You can also put it on the bottom of the page, because you have the header, and on the bottom you have the footer. So, and the same idea will apply, like the even and odd pages, footer will be different, and all the odd and all the even pages will have that header or the footer, whatever you put in there. So I'll just put a header here. So there's the header there. So this is my chapter 1 even page header. So I'm just gonna scroll down to the odd page header. So this is my odd page. I click here, and I'm gonna type in chapter 1 odd page header, author, and if I want the page number, position, page number. Okay, and if you look, this is my footer. So I can even put a page number, or I wanted some special type of a footer. They've got some different styles that they've created here. So I can just change to whatever I want. So whatever you felt like. So this is my even page footer, and if I scroll down, when I come to page 4, it should be the even page header already there. So right there you see it says chapter 1 even page header, and if I want up here, I can put the odd page header on the bottom here, and right there I can put a footer for the odd page, so whatever I want. So now this is done here in terms of chapter 1. So I'm just going to scroll down, and now I come to, let's see, I think I missed the chapter 2. Oh, right here. So right here, this is my chapter 2 because I see the section title 2.2. Now to type something new here, what's happened is whatever I had typed on the section 1 header, by default it shows up on the other sections too, even though I have a section breaks between them. That's just the way it works. Now if you look here on the corner, on the right hand corner, it says same as previous. So I need to just turn that off so that I can type whatever I want to type here. And to do that, you see this button here which says link to previous. So I just have to press it once. Now the link to the previous section is broken. Now I'm just going to change this to chapter 2 odd page header, Or if I wanted, this is my first page of my chapter, I can say different first page and then also remove the link. So now we see this is completely blank, and I can go to the next page and I can just change the header to chapter 2 even page header. So this is, in this chapter I only have 2 pages, and I just scroll down, and this is my page 3 title, sorry, chapter 3. So this is my section 3. I again make it different first page and remove the link, so that I control what header should go on the section 3 page 1. So this is the page 1 of chapter 3, where I don't want the header because the title is already there maybe, and I can go to the next page of the chapter 3 and I'll say remove the link, and I'll just call your chapter 3 even page header. I still have the check mark for different odd and even pages, so that idea continues. So if I had more pages on this chapter, the even and odd pages will give me the opportunity to type something different for both of them. This is my chapter 4. I'll say different first page, remove the link to previous. That's important because whatever you type here, it will overwrite the previous sections. That is, might impact the first section because we've already removed the link from the second and third. But if you don't change it here, whatever you type here will overwrite the first page, the first section. So you want to make sure you remove the link. So this is my chapter 4 even page header, and I'll remove the link. So usually should remove the link, is better. And I come to my chapter 5. Is this? Yeah, this is the section 5. I'll remove the link. Or if I don't want a header here, I just do that so I don't have a header. And no link to previous. Okay, so watch out for that. Make sure you do the link to previous off. And also different first page header if you want it different here. I'm just going to close this. Now let's just see. So this is my page 1 header, it's empty. This is my page 2, which is the even page in this case. So it says chapter 2 even page header, author, page 2. I'll go to the next page. This is my chapter 1. I think I just need to change this here. This should be chapter 1. Okay. Alright. So here, this is my chapter 1 odd page header, which is page 3. If you look on the left hand corner on the bottom, it says page 3 of 11. So that's the way I also know. Also, I've got the page 3 up here on the right hand side of the header. So this is the odd page, chapter 1 odd page header. Now I should see chapter 1 even page header right there. And after this should be the chapter 2, where the header first page shouldn't have a header. That's what I wanted. Now let's see chapter 2 second page. This I'm just going to change it. I think I forgot to remove the link to previous. You see, this is because of this, it's impacting the chapter 1 header too. So now it should be okay. Just going to close the header. Anytime you want to edit the headers, you just go back to it and double click on it. So that's all you need to do. Chapter 2 page 1, chapter 2 page 2, it's the even page because it's page 6. This is chapter 3, heading is empty. I just made a mistake here. I need to make it just 3, not 4, 3. Chapter 3 even page header because this is page 8. I go to the next page, which should be chapter 4, empty. And chapter 4 header even page because it's page 10. And the one after that, chapter 5, I don't have a heading. That's just the way we want it. So that takes care of working with headers and footers. First page, no heading, even an odd page to have a different heading. So this is what you have to do. Now I'm just going to quickly talk about table of contents, which is a really nice feature. So to do that, what I have to do is I highlight the chapter title, and whatever I wanted in my table of contents, I have to highlight it, and I'm going to give it heading 1. The section title 1.1, which is like it's a subheading within the main chapter. So it could be 1.A, 1.B, or 1.1, 1.2. So those are your heading which have less power than your chapter power. So this is like subsection. For that, I'll call it heading 2. Now, if you had a section within the subsection, so say you had like 1.1A, you could give that heading 3 style. So one of the styles up here, you'll see a heading 3 style. So that way, when you create the table of contents, it will look in your document and try to find wherever you applied those headings, and it will put it together for you in an appropriate fashion. And I'll just show that to you in a minute. And I'm just going to scroll down now, and I'm going to apply the heading 1 and heading 2 wherever I need it. So this is section 1.2. I'm going to call it heading 2. And 1.3, again heading 2. So this way, just go and apply to all your subsections and your sections, and this will be heading 2. I'm just going to pause my video for a second, and I'm just going to finish applying the headings. So I went ahead and applied the heading 1 to all my chapter titles and heading 2 to all my section titles. Okay. Now what I want to do is I want to insert the table of contents. So what I would do in this case is insert. My cursor is on the top of the document. This is chapter 1 right in front, and I insert a blank page. So it inserts a blank page right above it because I want to put my table of contents there. I scroll up, click here, make sure your cursor is there. I go to references, table of contents, and I can pick any of these styles that I want. Whatever style I want, I'll just click it. And right there, it's added. So it puts the page number and everything for me. Now you see I haven't added the chapter 5 because I just wanted to do it in front of you. So I can just go to the end and go to chapter 5, go to the home tab, apply the heading 1, and I'm just going to scroll back up. Now I come here and I say update table. I say entire table. Now I should have the chapter 5 added with the page number. So it does the job for us without us having to worry about it. Okay. I'm just going to also talk about the citations. That is, if you've got some passages that you've took from some books, or you cited some information from a book, or you have information from some websites, it's always good to cite it. And then you can create a bibliography at the end. So I'm just going to do a quick citation for that. So say for example up here I had this section that I took from a book. So I can go to references, insert citation, add new source, and then if it's from a book, it also has a section for book section and stuff. I'll just do a book, type the author's name, type the name of the title, the year it was published, the city, and the name of the publisher. And then you just click OK. And it will put that information there for you automatically. And it's using the APA style. And there are many different styles. You need to check what kind of a style are they using. If you're in college or wherever, or if you're writing a book, I think APA is the most common one. It could be anyone out there. say, and I'll just do an example of a website. So say if I up here I wanted to cite something because I got this information from a website. Insert citation, add new source, and I'm going to choose website, name of the author, name of the web page, name of website if it had a name, the year if you had it, but this is, I think, is important, the year it was accessed, because the website stuff is changing all the time, so we have to provide them with the date. So whatever information you had, you put the name and everything, and you click OK, and it puts the information there for us. I think I might have to just put all the rest of the information, I think. The year. So what can happen is this information could be the year that article was published, say if it's a blog, and then this is the year and the date when you saw it. So in the website, in the web world, the both things apply. Click OK. Now it puts the year for me. Now if I wanted to add the bibliography, usually it's at the end of the page. I can just go here, insert. I can just do a page layout because I want to create a next page section break. And I go back to references, bibliography, and I can choose the style I want. I click it, and now I should have my bibliography. And the same thing applies. If I go back and add something more, I just hit update, and it will just grab the citation from wherever you typed it, and it will put it here in the right format, so you don't have to remember what comes first, what comes second. This would have been really handy 10 years ago when I was doing my research papers. But so I hope this answers the questions and also helps a lot of other people understanding page breaks and how to work with headers and footers. 1.4, and after that it comes to chapter 2. So right here to start with chapter 2 title, section title 2.1, and I've got two sections in this, and then I start with chapter 3, and then I need to make this 3.2, section title 3.2. Make sure I've got section title. I think Hi, this is Amir again, and this is my number 4 video in the series of Microsoft Word. And I had a question regarding one of the last videos that I did on headers and footers and table of contents, and in that there was a question about how do you work with an existing document where you're trying to write a book or something to that effect, and you've got a lot of chapters. In this video I'll be going over the headers and footers, and I'm also again will be doing the table of contents, and I'm also going to try and squeeze in the citation part where you can put your references listed in it and how it creates a whole reference list at the end with your bibliography. So with that said, let's get going. What I did, I just copied some news item from the web and I pasted it multiple times, and what I've done is I've kind of created 3 to 4 chapters. So if you start looking here, see I've got a chapter 1, so whatever the title of the chapter 1 is will go there, and within that there is a section title, and I called it 1.1. and if I scroll down, I've got another section here, section title 1.2, and in this chapter 1 only I've got 4 pages, so there is section title 1.3, and then up here I've got section title 1, and within that chapters you want to have each chapter to have its own header, and also even page should have one header and the odd page should have another header, and the page 1 should not have a header at all. So I thought I'll just do a video instead of emailing the person back, and I think this will be a good, as I've had a lot of questions asked by some of the people in my class as I teach this sometimes. So this in